So, what's wrong with the world? The world has become angry, polarized, intolerant, irrational, and insane. Who is to blame? The 24-hour news channels purposefully fuel the flames of partisan rancor. They create webs of largely unfounded allegations of one political party or another, and then rail against those allegations in righteous damnation all around the clock, further entrenching your prescribed view of the world while avoiding alternative points of view. Social media purposely amps up moral and emotional messages, organizing people into digital communities based on sub-tribal conflicts, further deepening pre-existing beliefs and confirmation biases. Tribal allegiances are replacing shared empirical understandings of the world. Your overwhelm of all this news and social commentary has you only catching headlines and resorting to simply copying the opinions of your chosen mob. Now in conversations or discourses with others, all you can do is parrot the surface level understanding that you have with issues and retorts you've been programmed to give, and with an outraged emotional charge that you've been inflamed by. Over the last 25 years, the number of Americans who see the opposing political party as a, quote, threat to the nation's well-being, end quote, has more than doubled. Media has reduced us into a raving, polarized, logic-blinding fandom, making us lazy, ignorant, and a whole lot less rational. So I ask, what is wrong with the world? Emotionally sensationalized fake news media? Manipulative and addictive social media? Nah, you are. You're what's wrong with the world. If you participate, it is your fault. You're culpable. Media can only breathe because you give it oxygen. Media requires attention to exist. Attention is what they monetize. No attention equals no money. No money equals no existence. What you give attention to will expand, particularly in media, because your attention is their money. You are literally funding the terrorists to do its dirty work. You are paying with your attention. And you crave what you give yourself. If you give yourself pizza, porn, alcohol, and sugar, you will crave more of it. If you give yourself the constant dopamine hit of updates, likes, alerts, and FOMO notifications, you will crave more of it. Insight in mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Whatever environment you are in, you become. Let me ask you a question. Do individuals in a crowd behave dumber than if they were by themselves? You bet they do. It's called mob theory. It's how media does what it does. Their business model is to perpetually keep you in a crowd, a sub-tribe. It fuels the emotional contagion and keeps your face sucked to a screen, and that's how they get paid. And understand this, if your beliefs line up with one party or another, or line up with your friends or neighbors, you are not a clear thinker. Your thinking has been socialized. The Times once sent out an inquiry to famous authors asking the question, what's wrong with the world today? And G.K. Chesterton responded simply, Dear Sirs, I am. Chesterton also said, I think the oddest thing about advanced people is that while they are always talking about things as problems, they have hardly any notion of what the real problem is. The problem is not it. The problem is you, if you participate. Here's a quote from the Daily News that says, none of the modern machines, none of the modern paraphernalia has any power except over people who choose to use them. That was written on July 21st, 1906. News media, social media, and tech tools are designed to be manipulative and addictive. But you know this. This is like knowing cigarettes are manipulated to cause addiction that leads to cancer and ultimately your death, and still choosing to smoke. This is what is called willful blindness, keeping yourself blind to the fact that you are liable. The root cause of all that is wrong, corrupt, and deformed in this world is your behavior, what you are choosing to oxygenate. If you want to fix the world, Starve those things that are designed to manipulate your emotions and cause your negative addictions. Stop putting cigarettes into your mouth and media screens in front of your face.